Senzo Meyiwa's father went to grave crying about his child. Today, Senzo Meyiwa's mother is the one now who's crying the loudest. She's going to live without knowing justice. When you look at that case of Senzo Meyiwa, you can see it is being messed up deliberately.
I think it's too strong to say it's misleading. He could be making a mistake. But when you say
how does he make a mistake when he's got a document in his possession?
This is a problem.
Okay,
you argue with a judge.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, this is what happens to blacks. You argue with a judge.
Excuse me, madam.
This is what happens to blacks.
To blacks?
Yeah, to blacks like me.
Yes.
Hey, tada! We are back with another video. The case is still on recess, and once it resumes, international trailers will still be understand. What you've heard there before the start was Judge Rata defending another state witness, which has become the feature of this case. The same thing will happen when the case resumes. The judge will defend the state case now because he knows that that's all he has to do. He has to assist Baloyi because he is struggling to find the real questions that will put the accused in prison. We have been in this case for over 3 years now, and no evidence has been led to show that Bongantanz was at the crime scene. We've only been told about the telephone calls that occurred in 2019-2020, whereas Senzo was shot in 2014 October. That clearly shows that the state now is trying to create a case based on circumstantial evidence, which is another bullshit on its own, because in the case of law, you have to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. Now, you cannot prove your case if you do not put Ntanzi at the crime scene. On the day when Senzo was shot, there is no single call between Ntanzi and any of the other accused, because that's how you prove that they communicated on the day, to show that they actually planned it. Okay, namhlanje siyahlangana, so umsebenzi laphana eFlores at this time, but such call does not exist. So how would Bongantanzi have met these accused on the day if he did not communicate with them? Clearly, this was not planned. Tanzi was never part of any conspiracy to commit any murder. That's clear. The state just created this fabrication in order to just implicate all these men for the crime that he did not commit. Now, let's go back when Gwabini was testifying. We were told that Gwabini's friends and the accused and Abomnisi are planning to do something illegal against the judge. We were told that the judge is not safe. And then the police said they were going to do an investigation to get to the bottom of this matter. But till today, we are still waiting for that investigation to show that indeed the judge's life was in danger. It's been months and nothing has been reported. So clearly the state created that distraction because they could see Kutu Gwabini was tearing apart the state case. The judge's life was never in any danger. At that time when the prosecutor was dealing with Gwabini, clearly Gwabini was burying him alive. So the state had to find something to just distract Gwabini so that they can get an adjournment for the day and then come back later when Ubalo is better prepared. But clearly, there was a lie. Gwabini and his friends did not do anything to conspire or to unalive anyone. It was just a distraction by the state so that Baloyi can get his act together. But listen to this audio.
Criminal Procedure Act, and in paragraph 1.2 we mentioned that Gwabini has been caught.
There are people who were in my company, my lord, and that were seated here, and then they've been now taken by the police. So I'm not sure as to what is happening.
No.
Just now, my lord.
No,
They took them and went right around with them.
Now will I intervene? Are they arrested or are they taken? Which is which?
Asazi-ke ukuthi mhlambe bayaboshwa labantu noma-ke bayathathwa nje.
Yikho ngibuza inkosikazi ukuthi kwenzakalani.
That's why I'm asking this court as to what is happening with that.
I don't know.
Inkosi enkantolo ayazi yona.
Ramsipiti. Lento ingeke iphelele lapha. That's what the witness told one of the prosecutors, that this won't end here. That was a direct threat. Sizokubulala ingeke iphelele lapha. That's how I interpret it. You can interpret it as you want. No, you can interpret it as you want. You know what? Wait, just sit down. Just sit down. You know, I've been told by police here that my life is threatened. You think it's a joke? I've got five bodyguards. Do you know that? Two. Wait, no. Just two of them are here. Every time I get out, they get in. Me, Miss Mshololo. 5 bodyguards. And then you think it's trivial.
I've said in the past that the state will do anything, they'll go at any length to just disrupt the defense momentum. When the defense is cruising nicely, the state will find something just to distract a witness. So that day when Kwabini was testifying, policemen came to court and arrested 2 of his friends. But then they were later released because clearly they had no case to be used against them. So the police are just dirty, to just say it simply, or to put it straight. And Brigadier Gininda was accused of corruption by Babu Zungu. Remember, Babu Zungu said Gininda came to him and offered him a trip overseas if he testified against accused number 1 and 2. The same Brigadier Gininda was accused of doing something improper in the case of Rhodavan Krecher. And one shocking part that came out at the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee is that Paul O'Sullivan paid for Brigadier's trip to Czech Republic, where Gininda was investigating Rhodavan Krecher. You must remember that the police are not supposed to receive any money from any person that is not within the SAPS. The police have got their own budget. But Brigadier Gininda had a trip that was paid for him by Paul O'Sullivan to go to Czech Republic. Just listen to this, then you'd hear go to Gininda. Something dodgy about him.
You went to Czech Republic with Brigadier Gininda. Is it true?
I went with Brigadier Gininda and a prosecutor. I can't remember the name of the prosecutor now.
Who paid for that trip?
I paid for the trip.
Don't you think that's you are interfering with the work of the police?
Definitely not. In fact, I can explain it. And when you get there, what you're not going to do, and I've warned you about this before.
No, Chair.
The video that I've just played has got nothing to do with the Senzo Meyiwa case, but it has to do with the police conduct in its entirety. The police are corrupt and they are rotten to the core. In this video, Paul O'Sullivan admits that he paid for Brigadier Gininda's trip to Czech Republic to Tahambo investigator Rhodavan Krecher because O'Sullivan wanted Krecher in prison at all cost. Then O'Sullivan paid for his trip. But there's something wrong with that. It is entirely wrong because the police are not supposed to get any favors. But the problem is that as a police officer, you are not supposed to accept any gifts or any trips being paid for by any private citizen. The police must do their investigation without any assistance because the police have got their own budget. So Brigadier Gininda in this case has been accused of several things. Remember that he was accused by Sibiya. He offered him a bribe of about 3 million rand if he testified against these accused before court. Remember that Shadrack Sibiya was accused by Advocate Tefo of having a meeting with Chicko Chwala. In that meeting, it is alleged that Shadrack Sibiya and Chicko Chwala spoke, and in the end, Chikotwala allegedly bribed Sibiya in order to protect Longotwala. So that is the interference from outside that I'm talking about. So in this video that I've just played there, you see that Paul O'Sullivan interfered with Brigadier Gininda's investigation of Urodavan Krecha because O'Sullivan wanted Urodavan Krecha in prison at all cost. So the same way Sibiya was allegedly paid by Uchikotwala to make sure that wrong accused are placed in courts, just to make sure that his son is protected, his son being who Ulongotwala. We know that based on statements from Sihlongwe, I beg your pardon, it is alleged that Ulongwe is the one that shot Senzo Miyongepute when Senzo was trying to separate the fight between Uzandi and Ulongwe. Then the bullets went off and killed Senzo. So, therefore, uthi uSibiya wakhokhelwa Chikotwala ukuze avikele ingane yakhe. So uyabona ukuthi it is possible that the police could be influenced by external factors because of money. So I believe Sibiya when he says Brigadier Gininda offered him money to testify against these accused, because in the same case of Raven Krecha, another witness accused Brigadier Gininda of the same thing. They wanted Krecha in prison at all costs. So they tried to force one of the accused to become a Section 204 witness who will in turn turn against Krecha and then confess and then also testify against the accused. The same thing that they tried to do to be. So we are born with Gininda, they operate in the same manner. He is influenced by external forces, just like Sibiya. So this case, Kasenzo is cooked from the beginning, and you can see how it is cooked. It is cooked because of these external factors. People that are not within the police, but they control the police. Shadrack Sibiya, he should not have had a meeting with Uchikotwala, because Uchikotwala had nothing to do with the mayor case. But because Shadrack Sibiya is corrupt, I can say, safe to say it is corrupt, because he held that meeting. And without that meeting, maybe these accused before court would not be in court today. So Brigadier Gininda and Sibiya, I think they are same kind of individuals, just that they operate in different units. Sibiya, okay, he's a deputy police commissioner, blah, 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 in charge of crime, what. Then Brigadier Gininda is the head of this corrupt unit, which is called cold case unit. They operate similarly, but Gininda, I think, is smarter because he is able to make sure that Agabanja, because he does not communicate quite a lot like Sibiya. He's not out there in the media speaking and making statements. And till today, most people have not seen the face of Brigadier Gininda because but you can see behind the scene, I got right. The video that I've played showed that Paul O'Sullivan controlled Brigadier Gininda. So I suspect the same thing in this case, that Brigadier Gininda and Shadrack Sibiya are being controlled, allegedly, by someone that we know who's a musician. Look here, I'm not defending Raven Krecha because we know Krecha is a criminal. Yes, I agree. But the manner in which you investigate, it should be clear and not being influenced by other forces like Abo O'Sullivan. The same way, the Senzo case, I'm not defending anyone. I'm just defending the way the police conduct themselves. I do not like it, because if you are a police officer, you're not supposed to torture a witness. Abo Ntanzi and Sibiya, it's clear that they're tortured. And that's not how the police should conduct their investigation. They should get confession freely and voluntarily. And in the case of Sibiya and Ntanzi, I do not believe so. The same way the other pieces of evidence was collected in the Mayo case, I do not believe it was done properly. Remember that the crime scene, we were told by the Member of Parliament, the EFF, Uli Mathis, that she went to the crime scene before 11 p.m. And she said at the time when she arrived there, the crime scene was clean. meaning that the crime scene was already contaminated. So whatever tests that were done by Mosia after 11 p.m. are meaningless because the crime scene was cleaned. Because siyazi yasitshela uLimit ukuthi when she went to the Kumalo household, she entered the house, no one stopped her, and then she went to the room and spoke to the kids and whoever was in the house. That is before the arrival of Sergeant Mosia. So the crime scene was compromised. Therefore, the accused before court cannot be found guilty based on the evidence from the crime scene which is compromised. So the guys before court, they should be acquitted because the case has too much doubt. Remember that the state has to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt. But now the crime scene which was contaminated creates reasonable doubt. No. Things are not what they seem to be. We are told that the beer bottles were not in the crime scene. We were told that the blood on the floor was not visible, meaning that Umapiri had already cleaned it. So these accused before court cannot be convicted based on such contaminated crime scene because it is not in the interest of justice. The same way they talk about the gun. Remember that Umangena, when he went to collect the gun at Cleveland police station, he said he found the gun on an open bag laying on the floor. A gun as an exhibit, it should be secured at a safe, not on the floor, not on an open bag. So if the gun is found on an open bag, it means the barrel of a gun could have been changed, and that is contamination. So the gun evidence is contaminated because a gun as an exhibit was not secured. At Cleveland, it was laying on the floor. So uKadla Mncube can never be convicted because of such evidence. Remember also, Abamasondo no Dlamini Maphoyisa tested the gun of Kadla Mncube when he was arrested in February 2015, and they discovered that his gun is not a match to the projectile that was found in the crime scene eSenzomiyo. But masakufika uGininda, yonke lento iyashintsha. Omangena now saying the gun is a match. It's a match. But the same witnesses in the house are saying the gun had a wheel, which means it's a revolver. It's not the same 9mm that Gadla owned. So now you see, around the gun issue, there's also more reasonable doubt. This gun, Gadla, it's not the same gun that killed Senzo. So the police and the state here, they failed to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt because the evidence that they've collected is tainted. It is contaminated. And the court, therefore, cannot rely upon it because it is not clean evidence. Then we go back to the DNA that was tested in the house. The DNA expert came to court and said, my lord, the 5 men that are before court are not a match to a sample that was taken from the house. Meaning that the DNA is not a match. So, if